Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Juice Beats, and I'm back again with another race. This is the Tour of Watopia Stage 2, the Flat Stacks, and this is the second part of my back-to-back races that I did a few weeks ago, where I got pissed off at the first race, how it finished, and I was like, I gotta do another one. So I jumped right in with this one. So I'm kind of fatigued and a little sweaty, but I was ready to go out the gate, and I jumped on it real quick. So here I am getting out into the front group and just trying to stay with them on this one as well. Now, one thing that you'll see on the right hand side is it says C group, and normally the C group would be like the cat level, I guess, for Zwift. But for these group rides or races, the C group just means which route you're doing. So there's an A route, which is a longer route. Then there's a B route, which is a little bit shorter and an alternative route. And then there's a C route that is the shorter route. So that's the one that I'm doing, the shorter route, which is, I guess, 12 or so miles, or a little bit less. But basically, there is A riders all the way to D riders in this. And I'm guessing because I'm in the front group here, I'm riding with some A riders. So what I remember from this race is that it was fairly flat for the most part. If I remember correctly, there may be a slight incline in here, but for the most part, it's pretty flat. So very much in my wheelhouse and very much tailored to the kind of riding style that I like. Just keeping it flat on this is it's a pretty nice feeling. You go fast and don't have to deal with those little guys taking off on you on those hills. So I haven't been on Zwift for a few weeks just because it's been nice outside, and I finally got my new bike. It finally came in after about 9 months. So if you don't know the story, I think I talked about it in a video a while back, but basically I was hit by a driver in 2020, at the end of 2020, and completely destroyed my Cannondale CAD 5. It was an aluminum bike, but it was, I guess, kind of set up like a racing bike. So it was really light, barely UCI legal, but it was a great bike, great starter bike for me. So completely ruined. I turned around about a month later and bought a Specialized Tarmac SL7, and I bought the expert version, but upgraded a few things, like the Aero handlebars. So I got the Aerofly 2 handlebars on there. I think I switched out a couple other things, but anyway, so that bike I had from, I guess, February or so until the end of July. And noticed after I did a super long ride that I had a small crack on the seat stay. And so I contacted Specialized and went through their warranty program. They told me that they would have a new bike out within a month. So I was like, okay, I'll go through this instead of getting a carbon repair. Well, turns out the end of that month, they completely took that that promise off their website, and then I was still waiting and waiting and waiting. And I kept calling my local dealer here in Knoxville and trying to figure out, when am I going to get my bike back? What's going on? And they didn't have an answer for me. Basically, with COVID and the supply chain issues, all that things, everything got delayed. And so that's why I was having to wait for my new bike. Specialized did a great thing for me, though. They upgraded my frame to an S-Works frame. So I went from their Specialized 10R carbon frame to an S-Works 12R carbon frame, which is their top of the line. So it's lighter and stiffer than their 10R frames. Same geometry, everything, just a little bit lighter. So I did get upgraded on that. The only stipulation was that it had to be black and white frame, which, I spent a bunch of time picking out the color of my other bike, and I really loved the color. I used to get compliments on it all the time, but if they're going to upgrade me to a better frame, I guess I have to deal with the black and white. So I'm kind of making it my own at the moment, and I've still got some things I am piecing together on it, so I will have pictures of it in a later video. But right now, I want to get it fixed up before I start posting any pictures of it. Yeah, so I finally got it earlier this month, and I was really excited. And so far, what I've done to it is I've got a slam stem, and I just got some new rotors for it, so I've got to get those put on. Some new pedals for it, I got to get those put on, and a brand new chain that I put on there, and a new saddle. So that's what I have so far. The wheels are going to be coming later. I'm just trying to decide which ones I want to get. I've heard really good things about wind space, so I'm hoping that I'm able to get some wind space wheels pretty soon. I'm looking at the wind space Hyper 50s, and I would love to get those. It looks like they're pretty light and also really aero and have ceramic bearings, so exactly what I'm looking for out there to be able to sustain speed and cut through the wind a little bit better. I've had the pleasure of riding it a few times already, and I immediately noticed a difference from my backup trainer bike that I have. It just goes. It absolutely just it flies. As soon as I hit the pedals and I press down any type of wattage, it starts to go, and it cuts through the air pretty well. And I didn't realize this. I mean, my other bike, I spent a lot of time kind of upgrading it as well and getting it to where it would be race ready. And it's still, with everything that I've done, it's still heavier than my bike that's basically unfinished right now. So at the moment, I think because I carried over the original Tarmac's components and everything, so it has Ultegra on there. So it's not the upgraded Dura Ace or anything like that. It is about 8 kilograms. So like 17 something pounds, whatever the conversion rate is on that. And then my other bike is like 8.4, 8.5 or something kilograms with all the upgraded stuff on that. But my other bike also has 105, an older version, components and everything. So it's not necessarily the top of the line components or anything like that, but it is slightly heavier at the moment. And I was kind of surprised at that, just because it does have, my older bike does have carbon wheels on it. So I thought that would make it a little bit lighter, but it doesn't. I can only go down from here with the weight on the Specialized, especially once I put these new components and things on there. So that should help me out on the climbs and things. Here I am sticking with the front group still. So because this was so flat throughout the race, it actually ended up being fairly fast. I think we averaged, or I at least averaged, like 26.5 miles an hour, which is pretty nice speed on a road race like this. Now I was looking through, because it's been a few weeks and I had to remind myself, but looking through my summary and everything, and it looks like the elevation was only about 195 feet. So yeah, it is super flat. So this is one of those ones that if you can keep up the speed, you can stay up with the front group to the end. You just have to make it to that front group at the beginning. This looks to be about the only hill, I guess, in the race. So it gets up to about 3% or so. But I was definitely determined on this one to actually get a sprint towards the end, because that first race where my sweat dropped and hit my phone and pulled up a screen that I wasn't prepared for, kind of messed everything up. So I wasn't able to sprint on that first race, and that's why I jumped into this one to do this second race. Felt pretty good about this race, even though I had just done one prior to this. As you can see, it says 169 people in this lobby, or in this race, and I'm sitting here in the top 15. And there's no telling the category a lot of these racers are, but I assume that a lot of them in this front group are A and B riders. And I'm falling behind a little bit here. Could just be tired legs at this point. So now it looks like that front group has gone on past us, and here I am with another chase group here. Coming close to about 4.5 miles here, and still sticking with this group. I'm just trying to stay out in front as best I can with this group. I finish in a decent position here. Gaylord Folker. All right. We are absolutely flying through this tunnel here. It would be pretty cool to kind of, obviously video games aren't that advanced, but it would be cool to kind of feel how fast you were going, indoors as you do outdoors when you're going that fast. It's a little bit more exhilarating. Now another big group has caught up to us here. So now we got a really big chase group on that front group. We're not going to get anywhere close to that front group because they are absolutely moving. And this one, we're just going to carry our speed to the end. And got a little bit, about a 5K left. The draft is much easier when you're in a bigger group though. So my next race isn't until May 14th, when I'll be going to Louisville, Kentucky for the Long Run Park. It's a circuit race. I guess it's a crit, but it's on a closed circuit in Long Run Park. So I'll be doing that race, and I actually signed up for 2, so I'm going to be doing back-to-back races that day. I'm doing the Cat 4-5 and then the Masters 4-5 back-to-back. So that'll be fun. The first one's only a 30-minute race, and then the second one is 45 minutes. So excited about that, and just getting a little bit of training in on that. Yesterday I did some 40-20 workout, and if you're not familiar with that, I'm going to be posting that workout and talking about it a little bit. But basically it's 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, and it's based off of your FTP, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I think it's around 120% of your FTP for 40 seconds, and then you're coming back down to another level for 20 seconds. So tough workout, and I'm gonna be posting that one soon just to kind of show you guys what it's all about. Hi.
Mom's is awake.
Okay. I'll be out there in a minute.
Oh, and M&M's.
Close that door, please. Thank you. So I'm super excited to upgrade my bike this week. I've got new pedals and new rotors, and then I'm also getting a left side power meter. So I'm really excited about that. I'll finally be able to see my power on the outside. And you know, in some of these group rides, I want to be able to see how much power I'm actually putting out. Because when I look at Strava and however they do their calculations, things like that, I'm seeing super high numbers, like over 300 watts for a group ride. And even in one of my last races, it said I averaged 400 watts for that race. So I don't know what the calculation is doing or however that's working, but if that's true, I want to know. Just so that I can adjust things on in my settings, just so that I'm training correctly. I want to be able to know that what my FTP is and all that on the outside. You know, on the inside is a little bit different. It's a little bit more static. I can't sprint like I normally would on the outside. You can't move around as much. So I think it will help a lot just knowing what my wattages are in these group rides and in these races. It is a Stages power meter, left side power meter, right? Because I have Ultegra, so it's an Ultegra. I think it's R8000 or something like that. So that's the version that I have. I don't have the 12-speed version. I don't think many people have the 12-speed version right now anyway. But here we go. So this is the last half a mile, and groups are splitting up here a little bit. I'm sitting back in 30th place or so. And I'm trying to bridge to this next group. There was a group that just broke off, and I'm trying to bridge to them. Don't know if I have enough. I'm still pretty tired, and then these other guys come on. So, you know, I started the bridge, and then here we go. I'm sitting behind another group. It doesn't look like I'm going to catch them, but here we go. I'm getting ready to sprint this last little bit. I'm not going to miss the sprint this time. So we hit it around 400 feet to go, and we're just going to pass all these guys here. So 291 watt average for the entire race for the 12 miles. And I look on my Zwift Power. So on my Zwift Power profile, I ended up 26th in this race out of, says 87. I know there were more than that, but that's just who signed up for Zwift Power. So 26th out of 87, still not bad. And a lot of these riders are A and B riders that are in front of me. I didn't actually go through and try to see, you know, what their grades and stuff were on that, but I know just looking at their watts per kilogram for the entire race that a lot of these guys are either A and B riders. Felt pretty good about the race, averaging 291, not too bad. I think that was one of the top watts for the entire race. So that was my second race, the back-to-back race that I did on March 29th. So I think I ended up 20th in the first one and 26th in this one, and Out of a bunch of people, I stayed with that front group for a while, so that's a win for me, being a bigger rider too. So I will have some more videos coming soon. I haven't had a chance to record some of the group rides that I've been on. I've just been busy with weddings and traveling a little bit, so I am going to get back on that and get some more videos together for you guys to check out. Just going to finish upgrading my new bike. So it is the Tarmac S-Works SL7, and looking forward to getting some new wheels. I'm hoping wind space, so I'm crossing my fingers. Wind space wheels coming soon, hopefully you guys see that. Maybe wind space will see my video and sponsor me. That would be amazing. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, and I will see you guys on the next one. Please like and subscribe, comment down below what you think. Appreciate y'all.